So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be urea cycle. So we will learn about the urea cycle. So what exactly is the urea cycle? Urea cycle is a process by which the toxic ammonia is converted into urea that is non-toxic. So this process is known as the urea cycle. The site where it occurs in the liver. Liver, as you all might know, liver is the site of detoxification. It occurs in the liver, and intracellular site, that is within the liver cells, it occurs partly within the mitochondria and in the cytoplasm. So this part that you can see above this curve occurs in the mitochondria, and this part occurs in the cytoplasm. So now the starting compound will be carbon dioxide, ammonia and water. The final compound is going to be urea. End product is going to be urea. And so let's start with the reaction. So the first step is going to involve conversion of carbon dioxide and ammonia to carbamyl phosphate. The enzyme used will be carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1. Carbamyl phosphate will now be converted to citrulline. Citrulline will then be converted to arginosuccinate to arginine, arginine to ornithine, and ornithine along with carbamyl phosphate will again form citrulline. So the easy mnemonic to learn this is C cube A square O. So as you all know the term CaO, some people say Cia as CaO. So like that, CaO, CaO, C cube A square O, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So carbon dioxide forms 1, carbon dioxide, carbamyl phosphate, citrulline, C cube, arginosuccinate, arginine, A square, and ornithine forms the O. So this is the first reaction. Second reaction, they both take place in the mitochondria, and this occurs in the cytoplasm. Remaining steps. So the enzymes will be, for the first step, synthesis of carbamyl phosphate occurs. Therefore, the enzyme used will be carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1. The similar step occurs in the pyrimidine cycle where there is CPS2. Then here citrulline will be formed with the help of carbamyl phosphate and ornithine. So the enzyme used will be ornithine transcarbamylase, and ornithine, the two formative products. Then arginosuccinate is formed here. So the enzyme used will be arginosuccinate synthase, and in the next step arginosuccinate is broken down. So the enzyme used will be arginosuccinate lyase. Then there is arginine formed by the breaking down of arginosuccinate to arginine and fumarate. This fumarate is important. I will tell you the significance later. This arginine will be broken down by the enzyme arginase, that will give ornithine, and the cycle continues. In this step, there will be removal of urea. So now the energetics of this reaction. Energetics will be, here it uses 2 ATP in the first step, and in the third step it again uses 2 ATP. So therefore totally uses 4 ATP. But this fumarate that I had told you earlier of, this fumarate goes to the TCA cycle. When it takes part in the TCA cycle, it will give 3 ATP. So therefore the net energetics will be 4 minus 3, that is 1 ATP. So urea cycle takes 1 ATP to convert toxic ammonia to non-toxic urea, which can be easily excreted by the body. So that was the significance of the reaction. Regulation. So this enzyme CPS1 is the regulatory enzyme. This CPS1 is allosterically activated by NAG. NAG is N-acetyl glutamate. It is N-acetyl glutamate allosterically activates CPS1. Now this NAG is in turn stimulated by arginine. So arginine stimulates NAG. NAG is stimulated by CPS1. So arginine to NAG, NAG to CPS1, and this is the regulatory enzyme. So when the amino acid catabolism increases during starvation or diabetes, the concentration of glutamate increases. That increases the formation of NAG. So when there is more formation of NAG, there will be activation of CPS1 and there will be urea cycle. Now we will come to the inborn errors. Every enzyme is important. The deficiency or absence of any enzyme or defect of any enzyme will cause a disorder. So CPS1, absence of this will cause increase in ammonia. So the disease is going to be known as hyperammonemia type 1. Absence of ornithine transcarbamylase will again result in the accumulation of NH3 and ornithine. These two will be increased. Since there is NH3 here, it will be known as hyperammonemia type 2, hyperammonemia type 1, CPS1, so hyperammonemia type 1 and hyperammonemia type 2. Then here citrulline is converted to arginosuccinate by arginosuccinate synthase. So when arginosuccinate synthase is going to be absent, there will be increased accumulation of citrulline. It is going to be known as citrullinemia. Arginosuccinate lyase, absence or defect of this enzyme will cause accumulation of arginosuccinate. So it is going to be known as arginosuccinic aciduria. Arginosuccinate is an acid. It is also known as arginosuccinic acid. So arginosuccinic aciduria. And the last defect is going to be hyperarginemia, that is increased arginine due to the lack of enzyme arginase. So hyperarginemia. So these are the disorders. The clinical symptoms of urea cycle disorders will be vomiting, lethargy, aversion to high protein food, because the high protein food will again will produce urea, and there will be irritability, mental retardation. Now severe cases will lead to coma and death. The treatment that could be given is significant improvement will be noted on a low protein diet, because if the amount of protein provided is low, there will be less breakdown of the protein and there will be less production of urea. So there's one important concept, relation of urea cycle along with the TCA cycle. So this fumarate formed, as we all know, will take part in the TCA cycle. So there's the first relation is here, the fumarate and TCA cycle relation. Then the ATP generated in the TCA cycle will be used in the urea cycle. TCA cycle generates 10 ATP. So this 10 ATP, among this 10 ATP, 1 ATP can be used in the urea cycle. So that's the second relation. And the third relation is the carbon dioxide released in the TCA cycle. Okay, so before here the carbon dioxide release can be used in the urea cycle. So that is the third relation. So there are these three relations make the urea cycle and the TCA cycle interdependent on each other, and they can be collectively called as Krebs bicycle. Thank you.